Hello and welcome to the Premier League Punters Week 13. I've got a little nudge here from my co-host. We don't say Week 13, but I've been saying it for years now. They got to know this, like the 13th edition, we're Week 13, round 13, match day 13. A lot of people use it.
Yeah, I don't think we do in Europe. It's just the next game. We just move on. It's just one of those. No soccer. It's
don't know
football.
Where we are. We just, we're at some point.
I'm on that one.
Rather than the beginning, the middle, the end of the season. We're sort of in the middle now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're a third of the way through.
Yeah, it sort of feels middly, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, because we've had so many. We have Champions League breaks. We have obviously the international breaks. Now, no international break now until March, so that means we can start getting our teeth right into a bit of form, and teams can play the same team week in, week out. And I'm sure this is normally this part of the season where
the money, the business end,
the big guns don't get beat.
Ooh. There we go. But do you know what I was going to say, right? Because every time we start this show, and I think almost every time you're like, oh, it's a tough week. It's a tough week. You say it like every single time.
Yes.
I'm like, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. This one, I think, is a tough week.
No, I agree.
Well, you would, because you say it every time.
No, but it is.
I'm just saying, because this is like the first time I think I've said it.
Yeah, and for me, the first time you're right.
But, like, no. But this one is really tough. I have to say, the week that you weren't here, and sorry for shouting, by the way, I have a cold. I'm apologising to everybody I speak to. I have a cold and I can hardly hear myself, so that's why I was shouting. But I gave quite a few picks. I was on fire whilst you were. You better leave a bit more often.
Yeah,
I was on fire.
I was a bit concerned about how much fun you was actually having in my absence.
We were having lots of fun actually, and I did read most of your tips.
Yeah, most, not the winning ones.
I kept forgetting.
It's easy done.
You were missed actually, Flash. You were missed.
Mind, yeah.
All right, so it is a tough week. I know you've only got 5 picks, and so I'm not going to, as he's only got half the picks on the card, I know which ones he's not going for. So if I don't ask Flash about, well, I may ask him a question, but it's because he doesn't have a pick. But let's welcome the third punter, the third Premier League punter, Mr. Money Martin, Marticle, champ. How are you doing? How are those heavy pockets of yours?
Weighing me down, Natalie, weighing me down. They're even heavier since the international break. We had a pretty good Euro 2020 campaign. Ended it on a good note with some wins for Scotland, Wales and Poland, which I was pleased to see. But yeah, really excited to get back to club football now. International football's okay, but for the purist, it's all about club football, really, and very, very keen to get back into Premier League punters.
I know, but I do notice that picking winners, your winners don't differentiate. They just spread across the whole lot.
Doing good so far, Most weeks
very
we're turning a profit, and Premier League's been pretty good so far. Not really writing as many articles anymore. That's Flash's domain. But you can catch my articles on Bundesliga, Serie A now as well on Odds Market, as well as La Liga, and get all my Premier League insight on this wonderful show.
Yeah. Now, last week, I know both yourself and Alex had been reading Flash's articles for a bit of inspiration over on Odds Market. They were. Did you dabble in a few this week, Martin?
Haven't read them this week, I'm afraid. No.
They're so much better this week, Martin.
They're quite good, actually. He's upped his game. Do you know he even used your word, Martin, galvanise?
Oh, is that one of mine?
That's Martin's words. I nabbed it from Martin, so you nabbed it from me.
Oh, yeah. Always give the credit.
I love galvanisation.
He used that word, galvanise.
And funnily enough, galvanise was right after Unai Emery, so you've probably used it exactly the same context as well.
I think I might be using it if Unai Emery was sacked. Maybe there'd be some galvanising. I'm not sure how much galvanising he can do by himself at the moment, sadly. But hey, what about Jose Mourinho? I know we're going to get on to Tottenham at some point soon, but Jose Mourinho to Spurs is the big news, isn't it? So, wow, that's going to be a huge game. If only Arsenal could be so bold and dispose with their manager in the same brutal fashion.
Well, listen, I have been reading Flash's articles over on oddsmarket.com, and I think you'll be pretty surprised by his Arsenal pick. But We'll get to that match in a minute. Let us start. Okay, so we're going to start with actually West Ham Spurs. West Ham at home, they're 4.6, Spurs 1.9. Obviously, Martin, the news that you've mentioned, often a team is galvanised by a new manager or the sacking of a manager. Spurs winless on the road. West Ham obviously having a poor season. Are we looking at a first road win for Spurs at 1.9, Martin?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull the trigger on it and go for a Spurs win. I wouldn't have, given the form that they've been in recently. As you can see, they've only won like 3 of 12 Premier League games so far. Yeah. But you do get that new manager syndrome come in.
You do.
They've got a lot of talented players in their squad. They've been seriously underachieving for a while now, and he's a hard taskmaster, Mourinho. He's not going to be afraid to drop players. So I think it's about time they pulled their socks up and started playing to their potential. If they do, they should be able to overwhelm what has been a desperately poor West Ham side. I know the Hammers have had a couple of weeks to regroup and think how they're going to start climbing up the table, but they've been so poor defensively, and this could give Tottenham the sort of momentum that they need. So, yeah if you can get 1.9 on Spurs, I would certainly go for that, and I'm going to go for the away win in this game.
Yeah, winless in 7, so 2 on the Spurs win. Are you making it a triple?
It could well be a Spurs win. I'm not going to go that way. I mean, obviously I made my selection, I did the article. I've just gone for under 2.5 goals in the game, and I think that probably plays into Mourinho's hands as well now. I mean, at 2.5... Mourinho, he will be desperado to get a win, and if they go 1-0 up or even get to 2-0, he will shut up shop, and that will be the end of it. I thought this would be a really close, tight, scrappy London derby. I mean, these two don't like each other. The fans will be up for it, but West Ham, they're just not playing very well. They're getting beat right, left and centre. Spurs have had too many 1-1 draws. I can see this maybe being a 1-1 draw, but I just thought under 2.5 goals in the game at 2.5 was the way to go. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, no, actually, I don't say that. No, I think no, Spurs is the way to go, to be honest.
And how do you think they'll win?
Yeah, actually, no, I do all right, fine. I do quite like the under, but I'm not playing it.
No, but 2.5 it's a good one.
Yes. Big shout out. I just turned on the live chat. Big shout out to everybody joining us. I see Alex Classic in the house, Barterman, and a couple of other names there that I'm recognising. Don07, good to see you there. All right, one thing, I just got a little message from Rafa actually. We got carried away by our. I know. we all got carried away by the Spurs news that I forgot the record, and it's too good not to share.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Sing when you're winning is what we say, isn't it, Flash? Because we cry.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, well, I'm not winning at the moment, but my teammates are, so I'm just hanging on to their coattails.
So, roll out the record, Rafa. Don't know what that signal means, but...
He was singing.
It's just like, oh, here we go. Martin, Flash, 70.4, Jesus. Flash -1.
I know, I was up 12. I've gone like 13-1 in the last 2 weeks. Don't worry, I'll stick to the same method. I mean, that can change around very quickly.
Yes, it can. And then we also missed Dave Betts' record as well, at 6.4, I believe it was. Collectively, 22.4 units of profit. Dave Betts, he is not on this show. We calculate as well the Premier League tips given at oddsmarket.com. So please head on over and go check them out after the show.
Yeah, please do, because I give out 2 selections per article. There's 4 Premier League articles. So effectively, there's like maybe 8 to 10 units of profit to be had there if they win. So next week,
I like your positivity.
Well, the thing is, I'm just trying to let people know that I could go from -1 to +15, but because we're taking on in the article bets.
Yeah, let's see it. Bring it on. Yeah. All right, next one, Arsenal versus Southampton. Arsenal 1.48, Southampton 6.6. I would personally was going to say, but I have read Flash's article, I was going to say that 1.48 is a little short. I certainly wouldn't stick it in an ACCA. I think sometimes Arsenal can let you down. One thing that they don't let you down is conceding. So I was looking at both teams to score. I think officially it is going to be a pass. But Martin, you wait and see what Flash is going for.
Yeah, I've got Arsenal in 3 different bets. One can wait until the end of the show, but I'm going with Arsenal minus 1.75 at 2.75. And I'm also going to go, I've got to memorise this, but I think I'm going with Arsenal to win to 0 at 2.43. I think it's 2.43. It may be bigger. And I will be putting Arsenal in a parlay at the end, just outright at 1.48. Southampton in disarray, don't know their best side. Can't score more than 1 goal in a game. They're very disjointed, don't know their best side. So for me, I think this is a real opportunity for Arsenal to put on a normal Arsenal Emirates show. And maybe so. I think they'll score a minimum of 3 goals as well.
Wow, so you're predicting like a 3-0. So you are putting Arsenal into an ACCA, something that I completely don't want to do. And you think that Arsenal will not concede.
Yes, and I think Arsenal win by 2 clear goals. So that brings in the 3-1. So
basically a strong, confident Arsenal win. Martin, do you agree?
Oh, I hope they do. I would love to see Arsenal win this game. The horror show that occurred before the international break doesn't give me a great deal of confidence at the moment. I appreciate that Southampton are in dire straits. Not so long since they lost 9-0 to Leicester after having a man sent off early on. But, you know, they didn't play too badly before the break. They only lost 2-1 to Man City, 2-1 to Everton. Arsenal probably should scrape victory, but I've said that a few times recently, and it's been pretty painful to watch as an Arsenal fan of late. They're a shambles defensively, not having enough shots on goal, not being ambitious enough with their tactics, not getting the ball to Aubameyang, weak in midfield. It was just depressing before the international break. I'm hoping that they're going to come out as a much improved team, but based on what I've seen lately, I can't be betting on them at odds of 1-2 or 4-9. So, going to have to be a pass from me. But I'll be supporting Flash and I'll be supporting Arsenal, obviously, on that bet.
Yeah. All right. So 2 passes. Alex is going for half-time, full-time. Arsenal win there. Boss man liking Arsenal and both teams to score at 2.55. Okay, next Bournemouth versus Wolves. Bournemouth 2.89, Wolves 2.8. 9th and 8th respectively. You've got Wolves coming off 2 back-to-back wins on their turf. They are now on the road. Can they make it a 3rd consecutive win, or is this match too close to call? What do you say, Martin?
I'd say this match is too close to call, Natalie. Yeah, I would have bet on Wolves if it was before the international break, because they had real momentum. They were climbing the table, playing really well. And they've gone from the relegation zone to 8th within the space of about 5 weeks. And, they could keep climbing because they've been playing great. But Bournemouth at home, they have had some good results there. They were struggling a bit, but I think given the international break, they haven't got too many internationals. Eddie Howe could have worked with this group and he could really get something out of them. So to me, this looks like the sort of game that could go either way. So I'm just going to pass on this one, I'm afraid.
All right, Flash is also passing, but for anybody that is looking at going, it's one of those ones, if you can't if you can't split it, do you go for the draw?
Yeah, you do.
Would you be going for that if you were taking it, having an official play?
Yeah, I probably would, because Wolves, they love a draw. Bournemouth have not been scoring too many goals. I mean, I can see this being a 1-1 draw without a doubt.
How does a team love a draw?
Well, because
so they love it, but not that they particularly want it, but they seem to get it the whole time.
No, but what I'm saying is when you get involved with any sort of Wolves game, they more often than not this season they've ended in a draw. So I mean,
7 out of 12.
7 out of 12. There you go.
Games.
That's like 60%.
Alex says, tell Flash his EPL parlay from SBR. Looks great. Do you think you might share it with us at the end?
That's what I'm doing the same one.
Are you?
I'm doing the same one for us.
Cool. So at the end of the show, he will be sharing it. Okay, Brighton, Leicester. Again, it is a no play for Flash, which I'm actually really surprised. 2nd place, Leicester. Yes, visits Brighton, 2nd place. Brighton, obviously not a bad team. They can be hit or miss. I still think Leicester, a team with 5 consecutive wins in a row, making it their 6th at odds of 2.0. You do not like that bet, obviously, because it's a pass. Why would you not take Leicester, who are looking really good at the moment?
Yeah, just because they've had so many players away on international duty. Brighton have had their tails up at home. Remember, they've scored goals. I mean, I can see this if you was forcing me to have a selection in this game, it would probably be both teams to score an over, but I could easily see it being a draw.
Yeah, I was leaning towards that one as well. I have to say, I do like Leicester. We've got Khalid saying Leicester all the way. Martin?
Well, yeah, I'm going to go for Leicester in this game. Brighton were in excellent home form before the international break. They beat Tottenham, they beat Everton, and they beat Norwich. So maximum points at the Amex in their last 3 games. That's very solid form. And I think that's the sort of form that will keep them in the Premier League this season. But we know that Leicester have been fantastic. The only team outside the so-called Big Six to take points off them this season was Wolves on the opening day of the campaign. Since then, they've just been beating everyone. They steamrolled them. They destroyed Arsenal. They absolutely annihilated Southampton. They've been playing really well. The international break did come at a bad time for them because it's disrupted their momentum. And like Flash says, they've had a lot of players away. Probably, yeah. I might not have had this bet if I was just picking out 2 or 3 from the Premier League, but we can't be passing on all of them. So I'm going to put my neck on the line and go for a Leicester win at odds of it's 2.05. Yeah, 2.05 is a good price on a team that's in such good form.
Shop around for your odds. Oddsmarket.com odds comparison. There we go. Money Martin has spoken. Freddie Holland says, Alex has answered as well, but lower leagues will be out tomorrow, won't it?
Yeah, tomorrow 1:30 our time, so that's around 7:30 UK time.
There you go.
Around that time,
There
maybe
you go.
7:45.
Yes, it will be. Okay, I'm on Leicester, like Leicester very much. Crystal Palace versus Liverpool now. 7.6 for Crystal Palace at home, Liverpool 1.5. Obviously, Liverpool come from a cracking 3-1 Man City win in the last round, or week 12, whoever counts the weeks, not Flash, obviously. Now, I have read Flash's article, and you think upset on the cards.
Well, if there's one team, first of all, they're telling me that Salah's not going to play, so that's a massive boost for Crystal Palace. I think that sometimes if you take Salah out this side, the midfield becomes very workmanlike. We know that Crystal Palace do up their game. There'll be a massive atmosphere and it'll be very partisan. So I've gone with Crystal Palace double chance at 2.8. I think that they can get something out of this game. I'm not brave enough to pull the trigger at 7.6, but I think Crystal Palace can trouble Liverpool. Play pace on the flanks to pin the fullbacks back. And obviously without Salah, it's easier to maybe go and mark Sadio Mane and Firmino. So yeah, I'm going to go Palace double chance at 2.8.
All right, so you do realise that Palace haven't won in 4 matches. They haven't scored in 3, but lo and behold, they are at least going to draw against a team that Man City failed to beat.
Yeah, that 3-1, that 3-1 for masks. I mean, you look at that game and Man City could have been 2-0, 2-1 up very early on. They had 2 blatant penalties not given. So that 3-1 for me doesn't really carry any weight whatsoever. What does carry weight is how brilliant Liverpool are when Firmino, Mane and Salah play.
Yeah. Sure you didn't smoke anything dodgy over in Panama when you were away last week.
Well, yeah, it's only hitting me now.
Just saying, well, you never know. Martin, do you agree there that Crystal Palace could walk away with something from this match? Obviously, there's always a possibility. Football is unscripted, but would you put your money on it?
No, I would agree that Crystal Palace have a recent history of taking scalps against the big teams. We've seen them beat Man City. We've seen them beat Chelsea quite a lot of times. Obviously, they're beating Arsenal quite a lot of times. They do have it in them. They won at Old Trafford earlier this season. And I do have in the back of my mind that after the last international break, Liverpool were expected to destroy Man United and they dropped points. But having said all that, I can't go against Liverpool in this game. They've taken 34 points from a possible 36 so far this season. They just battered the defending champions. I think they won that hands down. They've had their tails up in the first half. They were all over Man City, pressing them hard. I thought it was a fantastic performance. And yeah, if they play halfway as good as that against Crystal Palace, they should win this game for me. I wasn't aware of the Mohamed Salah thing. I was just looking at a report on the Daily Mirror, and it says that he has trained today, but he didn't have a full training session. So maybe if he makes a late return with a late fitness test, that could give him a boost. But yeah, it does look like he's going to be out. You never know. But I still think you've got Divock Origi, someone like that can come in with a bit of pace. You could play Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in an advanced role. I think with Firmino and Mane, they've still got enough firepower there to beat what has been a struggling Crystal Palace side of late. So I'm still going to go with it. Nobody has a massive win against Crystal Palace. They're not that sort of team. So I'm just going to go classic bet, Liverpool under 4.5 goals at 1.87.
Yeah, I have to say definitely on your side of the fence, Martin, on that one. And as well, obviously they drew 1-1 to Manchester United. That was at Old Trafford, and it is a rivalry match. We knew that was going to be a slightly weird score. We did know this. At Crystal Palace,
Crystal Palace will probably take a little bit
They'll
probably take a little bit of the same script and try and get in amongst them and upset them. Don't get me wrong.
They're probably on the same level as Manchester United, so maybe.
Yeah, and remember this Crystal Palace team. They have spirit. They went 2-0 down at Arsenal. I know Arsenal completely different to Liverpool. If Liverpool turns up, they win it. But with having the home side and the draw at 2.8, I'm quite happy to roll the dice.
Okay, well, you roll the dice and you're with, I tell you, best style. Crystal Palace win banker. There's another comment here as well. King George says, Bathman, Crystal Palace may score. I was actually looking at both teams to score on this match. Liverpool do concede. Rarely do they keep a clean sheet. But just with Crystal Palace's goal-scoring record of late, I wasn't willing to put my money on it either. Was looking 1.5 there for a little acca filler for Liverpool win. I think I might be sticking that in my parlay.
Ooh, not for me.
Well, I know that if you're going for the draw. All right, Everton versus Norwich. Norwich bottom of the table, amassed a mere 7 points all season long. They travel to Everton, who seem to be picking up the pace. I still think the 1.45 is a little too low. I was able to get some value with the Martino Classico of Everton and the under 4.5 goals at 1.83. I do think that Everton win this on their home turf. What do you like?
Everton all the way. They'll be part of my parlay. I was looking around. I think I know I've done an article on this game as well. I think Norwich are ready. I think they're sitting above the trapdoor and it's creaking. I think the relegation hoodoo is right on them. Remember, I don't think they've scored away from home since the opening day of the season, which, funnily enough, was also in Merseyside when they got beat by Liverpool. My selection is actually going to be Everton to lead at half-time at 2. So I just cannot get away from it. I've got Everton minus 1.75 as well, and I was so close to going Everton to win to 0. Well, Norwich have just failed to score. You say? I think you said 7 points they've got. Yeah. I think 6 of them was in the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah. Well, that's why I went for under the. Then there's actually still great value on the Everton and under 3.5 goals.
Exactly.
We got Martin on this show. And
Everton to lead at half time at
Classic.
2.
Yeah, all right. Everton lead at half-time. Everton in the end of 4.5 goals. Martin, are you playing this match?
I am playing this match. I'm not going with anything particularly going to set the world alight in terms of odds, I'm afraid. But I do agree that an improving Everton are going to win the game. They've really started picking up a bit under Marco Silva of late, and they're playing against the Norwich side that we know have been absolutely dreadful, hit by injuries, but also a real goal drought for Teemu Pukki. Seems to be turning it on for Finland against lesser opposition in the European Championship qualifiers, but he's not doing the business for Norwich at the moment, and that's going to be worrying for their fans. As we say, Everton have been on an upward curve. They've got a lot of good players in attack, and Norwich have a dreadful defensive record. If they can get Sigurdsson, Richarlison on the ball, they should win this pretty comfortably. Just because there's a bit of rustiness sometimes after the international break, I'm not going to go too crazy with my handicap, but I just want to go Everton -1 Asian handicap, and you can get 1.67 on that.
Yeah, I was looking at that one too as well. I like that one as well. Okay, Watford, Burnley. Watford 2.44, Burnley 3.3. They pulled the victory. I was on Burnley draw no bet last week. That came through for me. Obviously, you've got Burnley poor on the road, but you've got Watford poor at home. I was thinking of either way, whether you go for a draw no bet, something like this. They are hard to split. I know Flash is off this one. Martin, do you have a play?
I don't, I'm afraid. This one has to be a pass. I mean, Watford have been very, very poor this season. A few weeks ago, I would have gone for Burnley, definitely. But, I mean, they did thrash West Ham before the international break. Watford finally won against Norwich. Just don't really know what sort of shape these teams are going to come back in. I think this is a very good one to avoid.
Yes, all right, so 3 passes on this one. Next match, Man City, Chelsea, the big fixture of the weekend here. Man City 1.49, Chelsea 6.25. I think, obviously, Man City, they do have the home advantage, but Chelsea are not going to make this easy for them. They're in third. They're actually a position above Man City. We have seen when Man City lose, they bounce back, they score goals, and they win. But like I said, Chelsea will not make this easy for them. I think goals is the way to go on this one. I'm a little bit nervous about which Chelsea team are going to show up. You actually have an official play for this match.
I do, and this is the third leg of my parlay that I did for SBR, and I will be doing it again today. I'm going with Man City -1.75 at 2.5. I see goals. I think you've got to look at the possibility of an Alex Classic. The thing is with Man City and Chelsea, they both like to play on the front foot. If Chelsea play on the front foot, they're going to get hit on the break. Their naivety in defence is where I think it's going to cost them. I think Man City are like a little bit like a wounded animal. I think that they were hard done by against Liverpool. Remember the penalty? It was at 1-0. It would have been then either a side foot finish for Sterling, or it would have been the penalty scored. So that would have been 1-1. Completely different game then. So for me, Man City come out the traps. Man City win the game, and I think they win by 2 goals.
So what are you playing? Man City and over 2.5
No,
goals?
Man City -1.75 at 2.5.
Ooh, okay. All right, so you think that Man City are going to dominate this game?
I do. I think it could get ugly as well. I think this could be a 4 or 5-1, 4-0. The thing is, Chelsea will maybe come out because they only know one way to play. And they've been mightily impressive. They've scored 27 goals this year, Chelsea. Been absolutely frightening. They're free-flowing football, fearless. But there's a naivety to them, and
I think you underestimated this team. Galvanised.
No, the galvanised was with Unai Emery. Yeah, well, listen, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I think the job that Frank Lampard's done, and this is what I wrote. I think he's sleeping like a baby.
What do you think, Martin? Do you think Man City -1.75? Again, I think I'm being a little brave here.
Well, I think they'll win by 2 clear goals.
Okay. All right. Martin, what do you think?
Well, I'm a little bit nervous now because I was going to leave this game alone because I couldn't find the value on Man City. And then I started thinking about it a bit more. I thought Chelsea haven't lost in so long. I know they lost in the Carabao Cup, but they played a reserve team in that, so I'm discounting that.
Yeah.
They haven't lost months. They're the form team in the Premier League. They won 6 on the bounce. They're flying in Europe as well. And the concern I would have for Man City is that defensive injuries are annihilating them this season. They didn't replace Company in the summer. Laporte's out for the year. And that's meant they've had to drop Fernandinho into midfield. So they've really missed his presence into defence. They've really missed his presence in midfield. Stones is a bit of a calamity. He's always making mistakes. And I think that weakens the Man City midfield. And for me, the best thing about Chelsea is that midfield 3. N'Golo Kante is the best midfielder in the Premier League, next to Jorginho and Kovacic. I think they can really go head-to-head with Man City's midfield. And I think the likes of Tammy Abraham could cause John Stones a lot of issues. So I'm going to go completely the other way and go Chelsea plus 1.5 Asian handicap at odds of 1.76.
Yes.
See what happens.
Martin talks a lot of sense. Do you know what I was looking at? I was looking at Chelsea and the draw. Somebody put here as well, draw no bet Chelsea, says Tube Nate, something like that. But so there we go, head to head.
Bring it on.
Bring it. Oh, yeah, but you're up against Money Martin, though.
I know, yeah. But I mean, I'm getting 2.5.
Know which side I'm perched on.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because it's close to your 1.62. You wouldn't go near mine at 2.5.
Anyway, best of luck to both of you. May the better man win, but
no, may Flash win because he needs it.
Oh no, great. We also got as well. Somebody says a good show, people from Oslo, Norway. Do you know I am a quarter Norwegian?
Okay. Yeah. Any Swedish in you? Swedish?
Quarter.
A quarter Swedish?
Quarter Swedish, a quarter Norwegian.
English?
And 50%. Well, 50%, although my mum's I think is a bit of Scottish and Irish in there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a bit of
Celtic.
other jumble jumble in there too. So
you like licorice all sorts, don't you?
I like to call myself a cocktail.
Yes.
It's a cocktail, but licorice all sorts, all right. That makes sense as
You've got such a good tan, though. You don't look Scandinavian with your Costa Rica tan. You're...
Just like to keep everybody confused, yes. So yes, all right. Okay, next match: Sheffield United versus Manchester United, and went against Manchester United, and they won. It seems to me that that's the case. I'm actually liking, and this one's an all serious one. Last week I just went for it because I was pissed off, and I told everybody not to follow me. That I was just going. I just took the team, whatever team that they were playing against. Brighton.
I went with
Brighton.
Man United -1.
I know.
1.75. Well, yeah, well, there's not many of them coming from you.
I am actually, in all seriousness now, really liking the Sheffield United win or the Sheffield United and the draw at 1.7. What a great start to the season they're having, finding themselves in fifth. Obviously, Manchester United have picked up just one win on the road, and they will be playing a confident home side. I think that Sheffield United has a ton of value, and I'm actually taking it in all seriousness this time.
No, I'm going to leave it. The only thing I could play in this game is Man United at 2.25. But then I think Man United might have turned the corner. But I'm going to have to watch a little bit more. If I'm going to take them, I'm going to take them against real road dogs at home. Sheffield United will get in amongst them. I think unders is probably in play. For me, you've got to leave it. Just got to leave it because Sheffield United are tough as old boots. But the problem you've got with Sheffield United is they're 3.8. At the start of the season, if it was one of the first 3 or 4 games, they'd be 6.8. So not for me. No value at all.
Really? Well, our chat here says, so King George, Sheffield United draw no bet. We've got Sheffield +1 from Abdul Fattah. We have got, Don just says United draw no bet. Okay, Manchester United. And then King George was like, from Nigeria, have been making profit ever since I have discovered odds market. Good. Welcome. And it's great to see actually where everybody's from. Martin, are you in England actually? I don't recognise that room. Are you travelling somewhere? Where are you filming from?
I am in England. I'm in my new house. I moved house on Tuesday, so I've moved down a little bit just a little bit further south. This is the room. I'll have to work on my background a little bit. But yeah, I'm in England. I'm probably closest. I'm probably somewhere in between Crystal Palace and Brighton. Would be my
Red Hill,
my local team. I'm actually further south than Red Hill. Although I did used to edit the Surrey Mirror in Red Hill, which is a fine town.
So where are you? Is it like a state secret or what?
He's keeping exactly. He doesn't. They know about how much money Martin's making. He wants to keep it a secret. You know, it's all under the mattress right now.
I don't want them all coming round if I lose if I get a tip wrong. Yeah.
So you're still not telling us?
I'm on the south coast, near Worthing.
Oh, okay, lovely.
Rustington.
Sorry, where?
Yeah. Rustington.
On the South Downs.
What's your house number?
Yeah.
Number 6.
Telephone number.
No, he won't have a number. It'll be a name now, won't it?
Oh.
It'll be Green Towers or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. The Money Mansion.
Not that much yet. Need a few more winners before we do that, I think.
All right, what are you on? Sheffield United, Manchester United.
I'm afraid I to say I agree with Flash. This is a good one to pass. The only thing I could really have been on was under 2.5 goals because Sheffield United games have the fewest goals in them of any team in the Premier League. They really do keep things tight at the back. But I think the odds were only about 1.67, and I just had at the back of my mind, Man United might have turned a corner. They have been scoring more goals of late. Bit worried about Anthony Martial. He's taken the pressure off Rashford a bit, and they do have it in them to go and score a few goals, Man United. So, yeah, this is just one to avoid for me. I'm going to avoid Man United for a little while.
Okay, yeah. Could they Manchester United be up for a turn? That would be nice. Ken Kosh is from Kenya.
Nice.
Some people from everywhere, eh? Nice. All right, a final match. Monday night football on the television often means goals. And I actually quite like this one, the Alex Classic. I think that both think that they could win this one. Both need the points, and I think they're going to be all guns ablazing.
Yeah,
and I think both teams have scored over 2.5 goals.
And what price did you get? Because that was my only look at this game, was the Alex Classic. I'm passing, and obviously if we have a good weekend, then I might tweet out at some stage on Monday and let people know that it's an official play, and I will put #official. But I thought Alex Classic was the only way to go in this game because you've got Newcastle who are dogged and they've just scored, they win 3-2 West Ham. You've got Villa that score goals and are just on top of their game. I mean, they were 1-0 up against Liverpool with like a minute to go and ended up getting beat 2-1. So for me, Alex Classic's the only way I'd go. I don't know what the price is. I'd expect it to be around 1.9, maybe 2.
That's what I think it is as well.
So, but it's a pass.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It is an official play for me. What are you going for, Martin?
I'd be leaning towards an Aston Villa win probably if I was pulling the trigger on this one. I think 2.1 is a decent set of odds on them at home, but yeah, Newcastle concern me. I was fading Newcastle at the start of the season, but they won 2 on the bounce before the international break, and it seems like they might not be quite as terrible as I thought they were going to be this season. So, if it was a better team than Aston Villa hosting Newcastle, I would bet on them. But I'm going to pass this one as well. So I do 6 plays and 4 passes for the weekend.
I do like the like the old red card that I like now and again.
Yeah.
I do like a red card in this game. So that might be my play. I will have a look at it
How
over the
like
weekend.
it? Are you putting your money on it?
Yeah,
or
this is what I'm saying. I will look.
Dangle a carrot.
If Man City, because Man City are going to be my banker at 2.5, then I will probably have a little look and see the lineups. And again, I will tweet out whether I'm going to go red card, and it will say at odds market #official play.
I'm on the edge of my seat. Will he or won't he?
It'll be sofa, not
Stay
seat.
tuned. Stop what you're doing and keep an eye on if Flash will go for a red
Leicester,
card or not.
Piccadilly Circus, I'll have it on like one of them like rounded boards.
Alrighty, that's the end of the show. And so, like we do always, we go through our tips and a banker as a 2-unit play if we have one, and then also a parlay aka bet if we have that as well. Martin, kick us off today, please.
So I'm going to go for Tottenham at 1.9 to get off to a winning start with Jose Mourinho. I'm going to go for... What else am I going to go for? What have I written down? Arsenal and over 1.7. I did put down that I was going to go for Arsenal and over 1.5 goals at 1.7, but I'm not so sure about that one. I'm definitely going to go for Leicester to win at 2.05. Liverpool and the under 4.5 goals in their game against Crystal Palace at 1.87. Give Everton a -1 handicap against Norwich at 1.67. And Chelsea plus 1.5 Asian handicap against Man City at 1.76. Trying to keep things a little bit cautious this week because it's after the international break, and go a little bit bolder next week when teams are back in their groove. For a parlay or an accumulator, a double, I'll do a Merseyside double. Liverpool and Everton both to win. That looks good to me. Banker, I'll go for Liverpool. Liverpool and under 4.5 goals at 1.87 against Crystal Palace.
Nice. Flashio, what you got?
Okay, I'm going to go West Ham Spurs under 2.5 goals total in the game at 2.5. I'm going Arsenal minus 1.75 at 2.75. I'm going Crystal Palace double chance at 2.8. I'm going Everton to lead at half-time at 2. And I'm going Man City minus 1.75 at 2.5. And I'm doing a free team parlay. I'm doing Arsenal at 1.48. I'm doing Everton at 1.45. And I'm going to do Man City minus 1.75 at 2.5 as a free team parlay.
Very, very nice indeed. I am really liking the Spurs win on the road at 1.9. I'm also liking the Leicester win at odds of 2. I am going for, where am I? Martin Classic, 1.83, Everton, Norwich, and then both teams scoring over 2.5 goals, Aston Villa versus Newcastle. That's my banker, and sorry, I missed as well, Sheffield United, and the draw at 1.77. And that is it. Oh, and two-team parlay is, I'm doing the Merseyside parlay as well, Everton and Liverpool. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching from around the world. This is us coming from Costa Rica, speaking to Martin in England. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Cheers, Martin. Cheers, Flash, and thank you for watching.
Gracias, adios.
Thanks. Good luck.